Hello, and welcome to Level Guide for R6B2. Let's go ahead and get started by talking about loadouts. This level is going to have a few scans that are in the fog and are not always going to be able to see the enemies that you're shooting at, so high damage spammable weapons like the heavy assault rifle and the Hellgun are pretty good on this level. This level also introduces hybrids, so weapons like the shotgun and choke mod shotgun are pretty good for killing them relatively quickly. For tools, I recommend that you bring the bio tracker, the mine deployer, and 2 burst sentries. If you are doing the extreme objective, you can swap one of the burst sentries out for a CFM launcher. Just know that this is going to make the main objective slightly harder in exchange for making the extreme objective slightly easier. Starting off in Zone 57, you'll see that your main objective is to get the DNA sample from the HSU container. This HSU will always be found inside of Zone 64. Inside of Zone 57 itself, you'll be able to find 1 use of medkits, 3 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. There will also be your security doors to zones 58, 59, and 61. 58 is a resource room, and 61 is locked by a keycard. Once you clear out the main room, go to your team scan to zone 58 and head on in there. In zone 58, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of tool refill kits. There is also going to be 1 scout and 2 giants that will spawn in this zone. So clear out the zone, grab your resources, and you can head over to your alarm door to zone 59. Your alarm door to zone 59 will be a class 4 alarm. Your floor plan will look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, here, and here, and they will break down these 4 doors to get into your room, so make sure you mine all of those. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm, complete the scans, and head on into zone 59. Inside of zone 59, you'll be able to find 2 uses of ammo kits and 4 uses of a disinfect pack. You will also find your alarm door to zone 60. Your alarm door to zone 60 is going to be a class 3 alarm, and your floor plan will look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they will only break down this top door provided that both of the doors to this room are closed. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and do the scan, and head on into zone 60. Inside of zone 60, there will be no resources or enemies, and the entire zone will be covered in infectious fog, so make sure that you have fog repellers before you come in here. Inside of this zone, there is going to be the key card that you need to unlock the door to zone 61, so find the key and get out. The door to zone 61 is going to be a blood door. If you don't know what that is, there's basically going to be an entire wave of enemies that spawn behind the door as soon as you try to open it, so make sure that you put a mine on it so you can kill most of the enemies, kill off anything that didn't die of the mine, and head on into zone 61. Inside of zone 61, there will be no enemies as this is mainly a resource room. For resources, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of tool refill kits. The trench areas surrounding the center platform are going to be filled with infectious fog, so make sure they have some fog repellers to throw down so you don't gain too much infection. There will also be your checkpoint door to zone 62, so whenever you're ready, do the checkpoint scan and head into that zone. In zone 62, there will be a few handfuls of enemies, and you'll also be able to find 2 uses of medkits and 2 uses of ammo kits. There's also going to be your team scan to zone 63, so whenever you're ready, go ahead and do the team scan and head into that zone. Inside of zone 63, there will be a few handfuls of enemies, and most of the zone is going to be covered in infectious fog. It is actually 3 stories, so I suggest you just shoot and pull the entire room and just kill them as they come up to you. This way you don't have to waste a bunch of time and fog repellers trying to stealth clear the room. Because you have to do multiple alarms in this room, you're going to need to save those fog repellers for those. For resources, you'll be able to find 2 uses of tool refills and 4 uses of a disinfect pack, and along with that, you'll also be able to find your bulkhead door controller for the main and extreme objectives. And yes, I recognize that there has been a decision to change the name of Extreme to Secondary, but given that that is a stupid ass decision, I'm going to ignore it. You'll also be able to find your bulkhead door to zone 64, your security door to zone 65, and your bulkhead door to zone 223. If you don't know what all this bulkhead nonsense means, it's basically just a way to distinguish the main objective from the optional objectives. Regardless of which one you're doing, you are still going to need the bulkhead key, and you can find this key inside of zone 65. This is going to be a class 4 alarm, and your floor plan is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here and here. You will have to do a second alarm in this room, so it's up to you if you want to use these 2 doors now. Either way, you want to put both your sentries facing the security door to kill them as they come into the room. Make sure everybody's got some fog repellers on them, and whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm. This scan is going to pass through or stop in the fog, so you want to make sure that you're throwing the fog repellers where you think the scans are going to go. Overall, it's not anything super crazy. Complete the scans, kill off all the remaining enemies, and head on into Zone 65. Inside of Zone 65, you'll find your bulkhead key and no other resources. You'll also find your security door to Zone 66, but this door is in lockdown until you complete the main objective. The bulkhead key also will spawn in the fog most of the time, so just be aware of that when you're trying to find it, and make sure you have some fog repellers on hand if you need to use them. Once you've gotten the key, go ahead and throw it into the door controller. If you're only doing the main objective, you can skip to this timestamp on screen right now. For everybody else, we're going over to the extreme objective. Starting off, the bulkhead door to Zone 223 is going to be a checkpoint scan, and once inside, you will see that your objective is to complete 2 uplink terminals. Zone 223 will have your blood doors to Zones 224 and 225. Both of these zones will contain one of the uplink terminals that you need for your objective. Inside of Zone 223 itself, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of tool refill kits. There isn't too much to say about this zone, so just whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the blood doors and head on into Zones 224 and 225. Inside of Zone 224, you will be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 3 uses of ammo kits, and 3 uses of tool refill kits, and you will also be able to find your bulkhead key. Inside of Zone 225, you'll be able to find 2 uses of medkits, 4 uses of ammo kits, and 2 uses of tool refill kits. Finally, you will be able to find one of your uplink terminals in each of these zones. Both of these uplinks will be Class 4 uplinks. Your floor plan for Zone 224 is going to look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn here, and they'll break down these 2 doors to get into your room. Because the big door is so close to the terminal, we don't want it to break at any point during the alarm, so we're going to put both sentries on the other side of the door to shoot enemies as they're trying to break it. If you found a C-foam grenade, you would want to have saved it up until this point in the level so you can use it on this door, or alternatively, if you had brought the C-foam launcher, you can just permafoam this door and make sure the enemies never break it, and you don't need to bother with sentry gun shenanigans. This is one of the rare and entirely niche scenarios where we want to put sentry guns behind a door that is mined and C-foamed. Normally this is a terrible idea because the mine will just kill all of the enemies and you will waste any of the sentry gun's ammo, but in this scenario, the door isn't going to last the entire uplink terminal and we need it to, so we just want to buy as much time as we possibly can, and the mine is only there to just kill anything once they finally break it down. As you can see by this footage, I'm able to punch in the 4th and final code of the uplink before the enemies actually even finish breaking down the door, which is the whole reason why we put the sentries out there in the first place. Regardless, once you finish the uplink, kill off all the remaining enemies, and get ready to go over to the other zone to do your second uplink. The uplink for Zone 225 is far easier to do than the one for 224. The enemies will spawn here, and they will break down these 4 doors to get into your room, so make sure that you mine all of those, and if you brought C-foam, you can C-foam all 4 of those as well. You can place your sentries facing the doors that the enemies are going to break so you have extra firepower, but other than that, just shoot everything until the uplink is over. Once you've completed both terminal uplinks and grabbed your bulkhead key, you can head back over to the main objective. Your bulkhead door to Zone 64 is going to be a Class 4 alarm, and your floor plan will look like this. The enemies will be able to spawn in these spots here if you're doing the main objective, or if you've done the extreme objective, they will also be able to spawn here. You should put your sentry guns on the east and the west sides facing the security doors to shoot enemies as they come through, and make sure that everybody is holding some fog repellers. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and pull the alarm door. Remember to throw fog repellers around where you think the scans are going to go. Do the scans, kill off all the remaining enemies, and head on into Zone 64. Inside of Zone 64, you will always find 1 scout, and for resources, you'll be able to find 4 uses of medkits, 3 uses of ammo kits, 2 uses of tool refill kits, and 2 uses of a disinfect pack. You will also be able to find the disinfection station and the HSU for your main objective. Once you find the HSU, go ahead and pull it. It's going to activate a team scan. Make sure that everybody is ready before you finish this team scan, because once you finish it, it is going to start an error alarm for the rest of the level. This error alarm is going to spawn 4 enemies about every 30 seconds. And once you finish this HSU, it is going to activate your forward extraction found in Zone 67. To get there, you have to go through Zone 66, which is no longer under lockdown because you have finished your main objective. If you need help dealing with the error alarm, there's not much I can say other than just stick together and shoot it. If you're confident with hammering, you can just hammer kill it by yourself, but it's not even that hard to kill 4 enemies by yourself, and when you have the whole team doing it, it should just be completely trivial. Either way, kill the enemies and head into Zone 66. To your immediate right, down in the fog, once you enter, there is going to be a blood door. This blood door will not spawn any hybrids, it is just small enemies, so just throw a mine on it, throw some fog repellers down, and just pull it. The mine should kill pretty much everything except for maybe 1 or 2 enemies. If you need, you can have somebody watch behind your team for the error wave if they enter the room, but you should just be able to clear the blood door very, very quickly and just move on to the next room. Past the blood door to the right, there is a door, and once you open that, there is another door to the left, and behind that is your extraction point. Get into the scan, put some sentries down in front of you to help shoot the airwave enemies when they finally reach you. Complete the scan, and you will have finally beaten R6B2. Due to the nature of RNG, enemy and resource numbers may be off by plus or minus 1, but for the most part, they should be what I show here. Outside of that, I've got nothing else. Leave a comment if you think I missed something, and you guys have fun.